We're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in the world of numismatics, the 1968 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a penny. How can it be worth $1.6 million? Well, stick around, because we're about to explore the incredible story behind this coin and what makes it so rare and valuable. First, let's set the stage. The Lincoln penny, one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history, was first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln. The design features Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, while the reverse shows a wheat stalk, making it known as the wheat penny. But, in 1959, the design changed, and the famous wheat ears were replaced by a shield design, marking the end of the wheat penny era. However, there's more to the story of the 1968 D penny than meets the eye. In 1968, the U.S. Mint issued millions of pennies, but only a few of these contained a rare error that would make them incredibly valuable to collectors today. Now, the key here is the 1968 penny with the D Mint mark, which indicates it was produced at the Denver Mint. Most of these pennies were mass-produced and didn't carry any unique features, so they remained relatively inexpensive for decades. However, in recent years, a few specific 1968 D pennies have surfaced, and they've shocked collectors and experts alike with their incredible value. The reason this penny is worth an astonishing $1.6 million is due to a very specific and rare error that occurred during the minting process. You see, in some 1968 D pennies, the copper planchet, the blank metal disc from which the coin is struck, was accidentally struck by the press used for a different coin. This caused the 1968 D penny to be slightly misprinted, giving it a unique appearance. In the world of coin collecting, these types of minting errors are highly sought after, especially when they are as rare as the one seen with the 1968 D penny. But the error alone isn't the only reason why the 1968 D penny can command such a high price. The rarity of these misprinted coins, coupled with their historical significance, makes them a must-have for serious collectors. Finding one in good condition is extremely difficult, as most of these pennies were either spent or lost in circulation long ago. The few that have been preserved in pristine condition have now become some of the most valuable coins on the market. So, what makes this particular 1968 D penny worth a whopping $1.6 million? Well, aside from the minting error, it all comes down to its condition, rarity, and the demand from collectors. Pennies that have survived for over 5 decades in excellent condition are already rare, but add in a unique minting error, and you have a coin that is truly one of a kind. This combination of factors is what has allowed the 1968 D penny to achieve such a high valuation. Now, you might be wondering, how do you identify a 1968 D penny that could be worth millions? First and foremost, it's important to understand that not every 1968 D penny is going to be worth that kind of money. You'll need to carefully examine the coin for signs of the error. Look closely at the mint mark and the overall design. The most significant indicators are subtle differences in the shape or details, like an unusual strike or misalignment that could indicate the coin was struck by the wrong press. If you believe you found a 1968 D penny with a potential error, it's crucial to have it authenticated by a professional. Coin experts can determine whether your penny is the real deal, and if it is, you could be holding onto an asset worth millions of dollars. For those of you who are new to coin collecting, this story is a reminder of how rare and valuable certain coins can be. A seemingly ordinary penny, just like any other piece of currency, can hold an incredible value if it has the right characteristics, history, or errors. This is what makes the world of numismatics so exciting and rewarding. You never know when you might stumble upon a valuable coin hidden right in front of you. Before we wrap up, let's talk about how the market has responded to these rare coins. As word has spread about the 1968 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, the prices have skyrocketed. Collectors are willing to pay millions for a coin that could potentially be a once-in-a-lifetime find. If you're looking to invest in rare coins, this is an area where the value can grow exponentially, especially as more people become aware of these hidden treasures. So, what can we learn from the 1968 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny? For one, it's a reminder that value in coin collecting doesn't always come from the obvious or expected places. Sometimes, it's a small mistake or a rare occurrence that turns an ordinary penny into a multi-million-dollar gem. The 1968 D penny, worth $1.6 million, proves that with a bit of luck and knowledge, a seemingly mundane coin can change your life forever. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1968 D penny and want to learn more about valuable coins, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Also, let me know in the comments below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're hunting for one yourself. We're diving into one of the most extraordinary and valuable coins ever discovered, the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. You might be wondering, what makes this penny so special? How could a simple coin from 1978 be worth a staggering $1.7 million? Stick around as we explore the fascinating story behind this rare penny and why it's a treasure worth a fortune. To start, let's talk a little bit about the history of the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln Memorial design was first introduced in 1959 and has remained a classic. But what sets the 1978 no-mint mark penny apart from the rest is its unique feature, or rather, the lack of a feature. Typically, U.S. coins are stamped with a mint mark to indicate where they were produced, such as D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco. But in 1978, a batch of Lincoln pennies was accidentally released without any mint mark at all. This mistake was extremely rare, and although it might sound insignificant, it's the rarity that makes the 1978 no-mint mark penny so valuable to collectors. Coins with no mint mark from the 1970s are almost unheard of, and the rarity factor makes these pennies highly sought after. And now, let's break down the importance of this penny. The 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is extremely rare because, after being struck at the Philadelphia Mint, most of these coins were eventually released into circulation with a small D mint mark, indicating they were produced in Denver. The fact that a few escaped with no mint mark at all is what makes the 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny a true treasure. Collectors around the world know that errors in coin production can drastically increase a coin's value. Mistakes like this, whether it's a missing mint mark, an incorrect die, or even a flawed strike, can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into a small fortune. The 1978 no-mint mark penny is one of those mistakes, and it's considered a key piece in the world of numismatics. So, why is this penny worth $1.7 million? It all comes down to rarity and demand. Fewer than 10 known examples of the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny exist in the world today. That scarcity has made it one of the most coveted coins among collectors. When something is this rare, its value skyrockets. The 1978 no-mint mark penny has been auctioned multiple times, with its value continuously increasing as more collectors realize just how special it truly is. The first known example to be discovered was found by a coin collector in the early 2000s, and from that point on, the hunt for these rare pennies intensified. Since then, the price has steadily climbed, and now a 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny can fetch upwards of $1.7 million in today's market. It's a perfect example of how a small mistake can lead to a big payout. If you're a coin collector or you're just starting to get into the hobby, you might be wondering, how can you tell if you have a 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny? It's actually pretty simple. Check for the mint mark on the reverse side of the coin. The lack of the D or S mint mark is the key indicator that you may have found one of these rare pennies. However, it's important to note that not every 1978 penny without a mint mark is worth millions. The coin must meet the specific error criteria to be considered valuable. Additionally, the condition of the penny is also a major factor in its value. Coins in pristine, uncirculated condition are worth significantly more than those that have been heavily circulated and worn down over time. If you think you might have one of these rare pennies, it's always a good idea to get it professionally graded by a reputable coin grading service. The 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a prime example of the excitement surrounding error coins. For many collectors, part of the thrill of collecting is the possibility of finding a rare coin that was produced with a mistake. It adds an element of discovery and surprise. Error coins like the 1978 no-mint mark penny are the holy grail for some numismatists, and that's why they're willing to pay top dollar for them. Coins that feature minting errors are typically much rarer than their correctly struck counterparts. In fact, these error coins often represent a unique piece of history, a moment when something went wrong during production, and that makes them even more valuable. Whether it's a missing mint mark, a double die, or a planchet error, error coins tend to be highly prized by collectors, and the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is one of the most sought after of them all. As with all rare coins, the value of the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is likely to continue to rise over time, especially as more collectors get involved in the hobby and the population of available examples remains low. If you're lucky enough to own one of these coins, you might be holding onto a piece of history that will only become more valuable as the years go by. So, there you have it, the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that turned a simple mistake into $1 million treasure. It's a perfect example of how rarity and demand can shape the value of a coin in the world of numismatics. If you're a coin collector, make sure to keep an eye out for this rare penny, as you might just stumble upon a small fortune. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed learning about the 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below with your thoughts or any questions you might have. And remember, we explore one of the rarest and most valuable coins in the world, the 1990 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. If you're a coin collector, or just interested in how certain pennies have become incredibly valuable, you're in for a treat. Stick around as we dive deep into why this penny is worth so much and what makes it stand out in the world of numismatics. First, let's talk about the basics. The Lincoln penny has been a cornerstone of American coinage since 1909. Over the years, we've seen various mint marks: the D4 Denver, the S4 San Francisco, and the P4 Philadelphia. But then, we have the 1990 no-mint Mark penny, which doesn't fall into any of those categories. So, why does this specific penny hold such enormous value? To understand this, we need to look at a couple of key factors: rarity, error coins, and collector demand. Let's start with rarity. Mint marks on U.S. coins are used to signify which mint produced them. In 1990, the U.S. Mint was still using the P Mint mark for coins produced in Philadelphia. However, in an unusual twist, a small batch of 1990 pennies was struck without any mint mark. These no mint mark pennies were never officially released, and this error makes them incredibly rare. The number of these pennies still in circulation is extremely low, which is why they're so valuable. And now, let's talk about error coins. Error coins are one of the biggest draws for collectors because they are unintentional mistakes made during the coin production process. In the case of the 1990 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, the missing mint mark is a mistake that was likely overlooked by those in charge of quality control at the U.S. Mint. While most coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint that year had the P Mint mark, these error pennies were struck without one, making them a fascinating anomaly. Coins like this are often sought after because they represent a unique piece of history. Imagine owning a piece of the U.S. Mint's mistake, a coin that shouldn't have existed in its current form but somehow made it into circulation. This is what makes error coins so exciting for collectors, and the 1990 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is no exception. But what about the value? Why is it worth $1.8 million? To answer this, we have to understand the world of rare coin auctions. The price of coins like this one can skyrocket based on demand and rarity. In the case of the 1990 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, its rarity combined with its status as an error coin creates an extremely high demand. Collectors who are passionate about rare coins know that a find like this doesn't come around often. As a result, auction prices for this penny have been known to reach up to $1.8 million, making it one of the most expensive pennies in the world. If you're wondering how to spot a 1990 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, here are some key tips. First, check the date to make sure it's from 1990. Then, carefully examine the area beneath Abraham Lincoln's bust on the front of the penny. If there's no mint mark, you could be holding one of these rare and valuable coins. Keep in mind that condition plays a role in its value as well. A coin in excellent condition, with minimal wear and tear, is worth significantly more than one that's been heavily circulated. So, how did the 1990 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny end up in circulation if it wasn't meant to be there? Well, most likely, it was a case of human error. Despite the minting mistake, some of these pennies still made it out into the public. Because of this, they've become sought-after collector's items. If you're lucky enough to find one of these 1990 no-mint Mark Lincoln pennies, you could be sitting on a goldmine. But, as with all rare coins, it's essential to have your penny authenticated. There are professionals who can verify its authenticity and help you determine its exact value based on its condition. Without professional certification, it's difficult to know for sure whether your penny is the real deal. To sum it up, the 1990 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is a prime example of how a simple error can lead to an incredibly valuable collector's item. Its rarity, combined with the fact that it's an error coin, has made it one of the most sought-after pennies in the world, with some fetching prices as high as $1.8 million. If you're interested in coins, or you happen to find one of these pennies in your collection, you might just be holding a treasure worth a fortune. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed learning about this valuable coin, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated on the latest in rare coins and their incredible values. We're going to dive into one of the most fascinating and valuable pennies in the history of U.S. currency, the 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. You might be thinking, what makes a 1968 penny worth so much? Well, if you're lucky enough to find one of these rare coins, you could be holding a piece of history worth $1.1 million. But what exactly makes this penny so valuable? Let's take a closer look at its story, what makes it unique, and why it's such a big deal in the coin collecting world. In 1968, the U.S. Mint was busy producing a massive number of coins for circulation. The Lincoln cent, a coin that has been a staple of American currency since 1909, was no exception. However, the 1968 penny stands out for one very special reason: it was supposed to have a mint mark, but some didn't. This small but important detail, or lack thereof, led to a major coin collecting discovery years later, making this penny one of the rarest in existence. Typically, coins minted in Philadelphia don't carry a mint mark, while coins produced in other U.S. mints, like the Denver and San Francisco mints, carry identifying marks. But in 1968, something unusual happened. A batch of Lincoln pennies, minted in Philadelphia, was mistakenly produced without the D or S mint marks. Normally, this wouldn't be a huge issue, as many coins have no mint mark. However, this particular coin became a sensation, not just because of the mistake but due to its rarity. While most people wouldn't think twice about finding a 1968 penny in their pocket change, experts quickly recognized that the lack of a mint mark made this coin highly unusual and incredibly rare. It was an error coin, something that doesn't happen often in the world of coinage. This discovery wasn't widely known right away, but as more collectors began to understand the rarity and significance of this issue, the value of these coins skyrocketed. Why does this matter so much in the world of numismatics? Error coins like the 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny are prized because they represent a flaw in the production process that is not easily replicated. These mistakes are highly sought after, making them a unique find for coin collectors who are always on the lookout for rare and valuable pieces. You might be wondering, how much could one of these pennies actually be worth? Well, depending on its condition and the circumstances under which it was found, a 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny can fetch up to $1.1 million at auction. Yes, you read that right, a penny worth over $1 million. This particular penny's worth doesn't just stem from the mistake of its minting process but also the number of people who are aware of its value and the fierce competition among collectors. If you ever come across one of these pennies in your change jar or at a yard sale, it could be your ticket to a life-changing windfall. So, how can you tell if you found one of these rare pennies? It's relatively simple once you know what to look for. First, check that the coin is from 1968. A penny from this year will have the date inscribed on the front, featuring Abraham Lincoln's portrait. The key feature of the 1968 no-mint mark penny is, of course, the lack of a mint mark. If you find a 1968 penny and there is no D or S mint mark on the reverse side beneath the phrase E pluribus unum, then you may have found a rare error coin. The condition of the coin is important when it comes to determining its value. Coins that are in excellent condition, without scratches or wear, are far more valuable than those that have seen a lot of use. The higher the grade, the more it will be worth. As we mentioned earlier, the 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is an error coin. These kinds of mistakes are rare and highly desirable to collectors. But what really sets this particular penny apart is how few of them were produced. Since only a small number of 1968 pennies were minted without the mint mark, the remaining ones are incredibly hard to find, which drives up their value significantly. Moreover, there is the historical aspect. Collectors value coins that tell a story. The 1968 penny represents a significant moment in U.S. mint history, where a simple mistake turned a run-of-the-mill penny into a rare treasure. When you hold one of these coins, you're not just holding a piece of currency, you're holding a rare artifact that tells the story of human error and triumph in the world of coinage. The 1968 no-mint mark penny is a perfect example of how seemingly small details can have a huge impact on the value of a coin. Collecting rare coins, especially error coins, is an exciting journey. For serious collectors, the thrill of finding a coin like this and watching its value rise over time is unmatched. If you're a new collector, this is a great reminder to pay attention to the details. Even the tiniest error in a coin's production can turn it into something worth a lot of money. As you continue your coin hunting adventures, be sure to keep an eye out for other rare pennies and coins that may hold hidden value. So, next time you come across a 1968 penny, take a moment to inspect it closely. It might just be the valuable treasure you've been looking for. Whether it's worth $1.1 million or just a few cents, remember that every coin has its story, and in the world of numismatics, sometimes those stories are worth more than gold. Thank you for tuning into today's video on the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out on future coin-related content. We dive deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in the world of numismatics, the 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny, which has been known to fetch up to $1.2 million. That's right, a penny that's worth a staggering amount of money. So, let's explore how this seemingly ordinary coin became a treasure and why it holds such incredible value. First, let's start with the basics. The 1991 Lincoln penny, much like other pennies from this era, was struck by the U.S. Mint to honor the legacy of President Abraham Lincoln. The coin features the iconic image of Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. These are the defining characteristics of the penny series, which has been around since 1909. But here's where things get interesting: the 1991 penny doesn't have a mint mark. Typically, the U.S. Mint places a mint mark on coins to indicate where they were produced. Most coins minted in 1991 carried the D mint mark, signifying they were produced in Denver. Others bore the P mint mark for coins struck in Philadelphia. However, in a rare anomaly, some 1991 pennies were produced without any mint mark. Despite being struck in Philadelphia, the absence of the mint mark on these coins creates a unique and highly sought-after error that attracts collectors from all over the world. Coins that are minted without a mint mark, especially when they were supposed to have one, are extremely rare. This rarity, combined with the fact that it's a penny from a popular series, skyrockets its value on the market. And now, let's break down why this specific penny is worth so much. First, the rarity factor plays a significant role. While millions of pennies were struck in 1991, the number of unmarked pennies is incredibly small. Experts believe that only a few hundred of these unmarked 1991 pennies exist today, and their rarity drives up demand among collectors. But it's not just the rarity that makes this penny worth a fortune. The condition of the coin also matters. Like with any rare collectible, a coin's value increases significantly if it's in mint condition, free from wear and tear. Coins that have been well preserved or are graded highly by professional grading services like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation or the Professional Coin Grading Service can fetch far higher prices than those in poor condition. In fact, the highest known sale of a 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny occurred when one of these error coins was sold for a staggering $1.2 million. This coin was graded as being in nearly perfect condition, which contributed to its astronomical value. It's an example of how rare coins, particularly those with minting errors, can defy expectations and become extremely valuable over time. But if you're lucky enough to find one of these rare 1991 no mint mark pennies, you could be holding a small fortune in your hands. But don't be fooled, there are plenty of counterfeits out there, and they're often sold at much lower prices. Always make sure to have your coins authenticated and graded by reputable organizations before trying to sell them or place them in your collection. As we wrap up today's video, let's take a moment to appreciate the fascinating world of rare coins. The 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how a small, seemingly insignificant detail can turn an ordinary coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone fascinated by the world of numismatics, the rarity and value of coins like this remind us that treasure is sometimes hidden in the most unexpected places. If you found this video interesting, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more amazing stories from the world of rare and valuable coins. We dive into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. If you thought all pennies were just small, everyday currency, think again. There are certain pennies that are worth millions, and today we're going to talk about one such penny, the 1986 no mint mark Lincoln penny that's valued at a staggering $1.30 million. So, how does a simple penny become worth so much money? To understand this, let's first talk about what makes this particular 1986 no mint mark penny so unique. You see, most coins you find in your pocket will have a mint mark, typically indicating where they were produced. The most common mint marks on U.S. coins are D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and P for Philadelphia. But this 1986 penny doesn't have any mint mark at all. It's important to know that in 1986, the US Mint generally used mint marks on all coins. However, there were a few coins that came out without a mint mark, and those few are now considered incredibly rare and valuable. The absence of the mint mark on the 1986 Lincoln penny is what makes it a highly sought-after coin by collectors, and it's part of the reason why it commands such an impressive price tag. What makes this coin even more intriguing is its condition. When determining the value of a coin, collectors and experts take a close look at its physical state. This particular 1986 no mint mark penny is in what is called mint state or MS condition. That means the coin is nearly flawless with very few signs of wear. Coins in this kind of pristine condition are incredibly rare, especially when it comes to a penny that has been in circulation for so many years. And now, how did this penny go from being just another coin to $1 million rarity? It all comes down to the rarity of minting errors and how few of these particular pennies were actually released. For most of its life, this penny was probably passed through several hands without anyone giving it a second thought. But as more collectors started to pay attention to minor details and errors in coins, they discovered the 1986 no mint mark penny's unique quality. Over time, the value of these coins skyrocketed, but how did it reach the jaw-dropping figure of $1.3 million? The price tag comes from a combination of factors: the rarity of the coin, its condition, and the growing interest among collectors in acquiring such a piece. As coin collecting becomes more popular, high-value coins like this 1986 penny are viewed not just as currency but as precious investments that can appreciate over time. And when a coin is as rare as this one, the price can increase exponentially. For many collectors, the hunt for rare coins is all about finding that one treasure that could change everything. Imagine stumbling upon a coin worth millions that you didn't even know you had. That's exactly what happened for some lucky individuals who managed to acquire one of these 1986 no mint mark pennies. They might have picked it up in their pocket change, completely unaware of its future value. That's the kind of thrill that makes coin collecting so exciting, finding a hidden gem that has the potential to transform your life financially. To wrap things up, if you happen to come across a 1986 no mint mark Lincoln penny in your pocket change or in your collection, take a closer look. It could be worth a fortune. Remember, in the world of rare coins, even the smallest, most unassuming items can hold great value. So, next time you're sorting through your spare change, keep your eyes peeled. You never know when you might find the next $1 million treasure. Thank you for tuning into today's video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more fascinating content, and leave a comment below telling us about any rare coins you've come across. We're diving deep into a rare and incredibly valuable coin that might just be hiding in your pocket or in your coin collection. If you're a coin enthusiast, you might already know that some pennies are worth a whole lot more than just 1 cent. In this video, we're going to explore the fascinating story behind the 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny, which is valued at a whopping $1.4 million. That's right, a penny worth over $1 million. We'll discuss how this coin became so valuable, what makes it unique, and how you can spot one if you're lucky enough to come across it. So, let's get started. The Lincoln penny, one of the most iconic coins in American history, has been in circulation since 1909. But as most of you probably know, not all pennies are created equal. Over the years, certain years and mint marks of Lincoln pennies have become highly sought after by collectors and numismatists, and some have sold for unimaginable amounts of money. While most of us think of pennies as being worth only a cent, some rare examples, like the 1909 SVDB or the 1943 copper penny, have fetched prices in the millions. But today, we're focusing on a more recent penny, the 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny. To understand why this 2005 penny is so valuable, it's important to know about mint marks. Every year, the U.S. Mint produces coins at multiple facilities around the country, and each facility places a mint mark on the coin to indicate where it was made. Normally, pennies from the 2005 year should have a mint mark, either D4 Denver or P4 Philadelphia, but, in 2005, something unusual happened. Some pennies were produced at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark. These no mint mark 2005 pennies were not supposed to exist, but a small number of them were unintentionally struck and released into circulation. So, how did these 2005 no mint mark Lincoln pennies come to be? It turns out that during the production process at the Philadelphia Mint, some of the dies used to strike the pennies were not stamped with the typical P mint mark. This error went unnoticed by the mint, and the pennies were sent out to the public, just like any other ordinary coin. At first, no one really noticed the absence of the mint mark on some of these pennies. After all, it's easy to overlook such a small detail. But over time, collectors and coin enthusiasts began to realize that a few pennies from 2005 were missing this critical feature, making them incredibly rare. And when you're dealing with something as rare as this, demand naturally rises, which is why the price of these coins skyrocketed. So why is this penny worth such an astronomical amount of money? The main factor is its rarity. There are believed to be only a handful of 2005 no-mint Mark Lincoln pennies in existence. Because the error was unintentional and the number of coins produced without the mint mark was so small, these pennies are considered one of the most significant and sought-after modern-day rarities in the numismatic world. Another reason for the high value of this coin is its condition. When it comes to rare coins, the condition is everything. A penny that has been well preserved, with minimal wear and tear, is worth far more than one that's been heavily circulated. The 2005 no-mint Mark penny that sold for $1.4 million was in pristine condition, adding even more value to its already impressive rarity. And now that you know how valuable this coin is, you might be wondering how you can tell if you have one of these rare 2005 no-mint Mark pennies in your collection. Here's what you need to look for. First, of course, the penny must be from 2005. Look for the date on the coin. It should be clearly stamped as 2005. Normally, the 2005 penny will have a mint mark, either D or P. However, if there's no mint mark at all, you've got a potentially rare find. A coin's condition plays a huge role in its value. Look for a coin that has minimal wear, clear details, and no damage. The better the condition, the higher the potential value. If you can't see the mint mark clearly, use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect the coin more closely. Sometimes, the mint mark may be so faint that only a magnifier will reveal it. If you happen to stumble upon a 2005 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, what should you do? Well, the first thing is to make sure it's authentic. Given its rarity and value, there are plenty of counterfeit versions out there, so having the coin professionally appraised is a good idea. You can contact a reputable coin dealer or numismatic expert to have the coin authenticated. Once you've verified that it's the real deal, you may want to hold on to it as a prized part of your collection, or if you're ready to sell, you can auction it off and potentially make a huge profit. The 2005 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how something as simple as a missing mint mark can turn an ordinary coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure. With its extreme rarity, exceptional condition, and historical significance, it's no wonder that this penny has captivated the attention of collectors worldwide. So, if you're a coin collector or just someone who likes to search through change, keep your eyes peeled for this rare find. You never know, you could be holding onto a coin worth $1.40 million. That's it for today's video. If you found this information helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more amazing coin stories and numismatic news. And as always, leave a comment below if you have any questions or if you've ever come across a rare coin yourself. In this video, we're diving into one of the most astonishing discoveries in the coin world, the 2004 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, which is worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. This unassuming penny could be hiding in your coin jar right now, waiting to make you a fortune. Let's get into the story behind this incredible coin. Before we get to the mind-blowing value of this specific penny, let's quickly remind ourselves about the iconic Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent was first issued in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It features the profile of the 16th President of the United States on the obverse, front side, and the reverse has featured the Lincoln Memorial, and later, the shield design. While these pennies are typically worth just 1 cent, certain years and variations have become incredibly valuable, especially when they're rare errors or have unique characteristics. And this brings us to the 2004 no-mint Mark penny. Now, you might be wondering, why is a 2004 penny worth so much? Well, let me explain it. First off, coins produced in the United States typically have a mint mark to show where they were made. For example, the D mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, and P stands for the Philadelphia Mint. But in 2004, a rare and mysterious error occurred in the minting process that resulted in some pennies being produced without a mint mark. Normally, this wouldn't seem all that extraordinary. After all, a missing mint mark is just a small detail. But here's the catch: this mistake was extremely rare. The lack of a mint mark on a penny made in 2004 is almost unheard of, especially given how strict the U.S. Mint's production standards are. The result? A handful of these coins have become highly sought after by collectors. Coins with missing mint marks from such a recent year are very uncommon, and they stand out in the world of coin collecting. So, why does this particular penny command such an outrageous price of $1.5 million? Well, the value comes down to a combination of factors, including rarity, demand, and the fascination with minting errors. First, there's the rarity of the coin itself. While millions of pennies were produced in 2004, only a small handful of them are believed to have been struck without a mint mark. Experts estimate that there may be as few as 10 to 20 of these missing mint mark coins still in existence today. This makes the coin incredibly rare. Second, the demand for rare coins has skyrocketed in recent years. As the number of collectors increases, so does the competition to own some of the most rare and valuable coins. The 2004 no-mint mark Lincoln penny has captured the imagination of coin collectors, which has led to a sharp increase in its value. Additionally, when a coin like this comes to auction, it attracts intense interest from high-end buyers and investors looking to add this rare treasure to their collection. In recent auctions, similar pennies have sold for up to $1.5 million, sometimes even more, making it one of the most expensive modern pennies on the market. So, why are minting errors like this one so valuable? It's all about the story. Coin collectors don't just want a coin, they want something that's unique, something that tells a story. Coins with errors, especially from a modern era like 2004, are seen as time capsules that capture a rare mistake in history. And that rare mistake can translate into big money. Error coins like the 2004 no-mint mark penny carry an intrinsic appeal. For collectors, owning a coin with such an error is akin to holding onto a piece of history. This error coin stands out because it was produced during an era when minting processes were more precise, making any error all the more remarkable. You might be wondering, how can I tell if I've got one of these valuable 2004 no-mint mark pennies? Well, it's simple. Here are the key things to look for. Make sure the coin is from 2004. The penny should have the familiar Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse. The most important feature to check is the absence of the mint mark. The 2004 penny was normally minted with a D or a P depending on the mint location. So, a genuine 2004 penny with no mint mark is the one that could be worth big bucks. If you find one of these rare coins in your collection, don't just toss it aside or spend it at the store. Get it professionally appraised and see if it's one of these rare error coins. Many people think that only old coins are worth anything, but modern coin errors, like the 2004 no mint mark Lincoln penny, prove that you should always keep an eye out for unusual coins. With the growing popularity of coin collecting and the skyrocketing value of rare errors, it's more important than ever to stay informed about what's out there in the coin world. If you can spot a rare coin, you might just find yourself with a treasure worth millions. In conclusion, the 2004 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how something as small and common as a penny can become a priceless treasure. Thanks to its rarity, its unique error, and the growing demand for rare coins, this simple penny could fetch you a staggering $1.5 million at auction. So, if you're a coin collector, don't overlook those pennies in your collection. You never know when you might have a hidden gem on your hands. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for more amazing coin discoveries. If you've ever found a rare coin, leave a comment below and share your story. We'd love to hear about it. We're diving deep into one of the most valuable pennies ever discovered, the 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln penny worth a whopping $1.6 million. That's right, a penny, just one single coin, can have a staggering value, and in this video, we're going to explore how this happened, what makes this penny so rare, and how you might be able to find one for yourself. So, grab a seat, get ready to learn some cool coin facts, and let's get started. First, let's start with some background. The Lincoln penny has been around since 1909, and over the years, we've seen various designs and mint marks. Most pennies have a mint mark, which tells us where they were made, either in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, or San Francisco, S. But here's the kicker, most people don't realize that the 2001 penny, which was made in Philadelphia, was supposed to have a mint mark. However, a small number of these pennies were struck without one, making them incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. Now, you might be asking, what makes a penny from 2001 worth $1.6 million? Well, it all comes down to its rarity and condition. Typically, pennies minted in Philadelphia during 2001 did not feature a mint mark, as it was the standard for that year. However, a very small number of 2001 pennies were mistakenly struck without any mint mark, making them an extraordinary find. These errors are often the result of a miscalibration in the minting press, where the mint mark die was either missing or didn't properly imprint. While this may seem like a small mistake, it's exactly what makes the 2001 no mint mark penny so valuable. Only a few of these error coins are believed to exist, which drives their price into the millions. The first known sale of one of these coins took place in an auction, where it fetched an incredible $1.6 million. The rarity and demand for this particular error penny made it an instant collector's item, and its value skyrocketed. Since then, others have surfaced, and while their prices vary depending on the condition, some are still valued at over $1 million. Like with any collectible, the condition of the coin plays a major role in its value. A 2001 no mint mark penny in mint condition could be worth far more than one that has been worn down from years of circulation. The coin's grading system, which ranges from poor to mint state, is crucial when determining its worth. Coins in mint state condition are almost flawless, with no visible wear, scratches, or discoloration, and they are far more valuable than those in lesser condition. Now, let's talk about the rarity of this coin. While it's hard to say exactly how many 2001 no mint mark pennies are in circulation, experts estimate that only a handful have ever been found. This makes them one of the rarest modern error coins. Since so few of these pennies were produced, they're incredibly hard to find. That's part of what makes them so valuable. They are, quite simply, one in a million. In fact, many coin collectors believe that there are probably more of these rare pennies out there waiting to be discovered. But because they're so small and easily overlooked, most people don't realize they might be holding a $1.6 million coin in their hand. This is why it's so important to check your change and keep an eye out for error coins. You never know what might be hiding in plain sight. So, how can you identify a 2001 no mint mark penny? It's pretty simple once you know what to look for. On a typical 2001 penny, you'll see the words Liberty and In God We Trust on the obverse side, along with the date 2001 and the mint mark, which should be either D4 Denver or a blank space if it's from Philadelphia. The key to spotting a 2001 no mint mark penny is to closely examine the area just below the date, where the mint mark is typically located. If the penny has no mint mark at all, then you might have a rare error coin in your hands. Of course, make sure to check for other details, like the overall condition of the coin. If it's in excellent condition, you may want to have it professionally graded by a coin grading service to determine its value. If you think you found a 2001 no mint mark Lincoln penny, congratulations! But how do you sell it for top dollar? The first step is to have the coin authenticated and graded by a professional. This will help you determine its true value. After that, you can either sell it at auction or through a reputable coin dealer. Many coin collectors and investors are always on the lookout for rare error coins like this one, and selling through the right channels will help you get the best price. In conclusion, the 2001 no mint mark Lincoln penny is one of the most valuable and sought after error coins in the world, with some specimens selling for over $1.6 million. Its rarity, combined with the right condition, makes it a dream find for any coin collector. If you're lucky enough to find one, don't forget to get it authenticated and graded. You could be sitting on a small fortune. Thanks for watching today's video. I hope you've learned something new about this amazing penny and the world of rare coin collecting. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin or if you'd like to see more videos about valuable pennies. We're diving into a hidden treasure that could be sitting right in your pocket. We're talking about the 1976 no mint mark Lincoln penny, which has become an incredibly valuable piece, worth up to $1.70 million. Now, you might be wondering how a simple penny minted in 1976, without any fancy silver or gold, could reach such an impressive value. To understand why, we have to look at the fascinating history behind this coin, its unique features, and what makes collectors willing to pay a small fortune for it. Let's start with some background on the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The penny was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, making it a milestone in American coinage. It was designed by Victor David Brenner, and the design has remained largely the same over the years, making it one of the most recognizable coins out there. But what really sets the 1976 penny apart is a combination of rarity, condition, and a lack of a mint mark. In 1976, the U.S. Mint produced Lincoln pennies in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins minted in Philadelphia typically don't carry a mint mark, which is why the 1976 penny without a mint mark was made at the Philadelphia Mint. While billions of Lincoln pennies were produced that year, what makes some of them special is their condition and unique errors, both of which can drive their value to extraordinary levels. One factor that collectors are looking for in this penny is the quality of the coin strike, meaning how well the image and text were pressed onto the coin. Coins that have clear details and no signs of wear can fetch much higher prices than coins with heavy circulation wear. Imagine finding a 1976 Lincoln penny in pristine condition. That's the dream for collectors, but why exactly would a 1976 Lincoln penny, particularly one without a mint mark, reach a value of $1.7 million? The answer lies in the tiny details that most of us would overlook. Some of these coins have rare errors or variations that occurred during the minting process. For example, certain 1976 pennies show what is called a double die error, where parts of the coin's design, such as Lincoln's profile or the text, appear doubled. This error is due to the die striking the coin twice, and collectors absolutely love these unique, rare errors because they make each coin different. Now, let's talk about the importance of grading. Coins are graded on a scale of 1 to 70 by professional grading services like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. A grade of 70 means the coin is in perfect condition, with no flaws visible even under magnification. A 1976 Lincoln penny graded as MS70, which stands for Mint State 70, is incredibly rare. Most coins in circulation have some wear, so finding one in near perfect condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. Coins with an MS65 or higher grading can already be worth thousands, but an MS70 example is where you see those astronomical values, up to $1.7 million in some cases. Another feature that makes the 1976 penny valuable is its historical significance. 1976 was the year of the U.S. bicentennial, marking 200 years since the Declaration of Independence. Though the Lincoln penny wasn't redesigned for the bicentennial, the date still adds a layer of historical importance that appeals to collectors. It's a piece of American history, and owning a 1976 penny in mint condition can feel like holding a piece of that legacy. But here's the million-dollar question: how can you tell if you have one of these rare, valuable pennies? Start by examining the coin closely. Look at Lincoln's profile, the word Liberty, and the date. If you notice doubling in these areas, that could indicate a double die error. Next, check the condition of the coin. If it looks brand new or barely circulated, you might have a valuable piece on your hands. If you think you have a rare 1976 no mint mark Lincoln penny, it's worth getting it professionally graded. Submitting it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC can confirm its condition and rarity, which will give you an official grade. And remember, the higher the grade, the higher the potential value. Now, before you rush to check your change jar, keep in mind that finding a penny in such pristine condition is extremely rare. Out of billions of pennies minted, only a small fraction are still in mint condition today. Coins in average condition from 1976 are still valuable, especially to collectors, but they won't reach the incredible price tag of $1.70 million. For those wondering if they should invest in rare coins like this one, there's a growing market for rare US coins. Collecting coins is like investing in art or precious metals. It's a tangible asset that can appreciate over time, especially for pieces that are historically significant or rare. However, it's important to be cautious and do your research, especially when it comes to rare coins with high values. Make sure you're working with reputable dealers and grading services. In conclusion, the 1976 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a fascinating example of how even the smallest coins can hold big value. Between historical significance, rarity, and condition, this humble penny could be worth a life-changing amount of money if you're lucky enough to find the right one. So, don't overlook your spare change. You never know what hidden treasure you might discover. Thanks for tuning in, and if you enjoyed learning about the incredible value of this 1976 penny, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting coin finds and hidden treasures. Let us know in the comments if you have any unique or valuable coins in your collection. Who knows, maybe you have $1 million penny just waiting to be discovered. We're diving into a coin that's been flying under the radar for many collectors but is worth an incredible amount of money, the 1986 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Yes, you heard that right, a penny from 1986 could be worth up to $1.8 million. But what makes this particular penny so special? Let's break it down. Most of us know the Lincoln penny is a common sight in our pockets, but the 1986 no mint mark penny is one of those rare exceptions. While most coins from this year have a mint mark showing where they were made, some unique pennies don't have that mint mark. And that missing mint mark is a big deal. Typically, coins made at the Denver Mint or Philadelphia Mint have a D or P stamped on them. But in the case of the 1986 no mint mark Lincoln penny, there's no mint mark at all. This can happen for several reasons, but the result is the same: a rare and highly sought after coin. The value of the 1986 no mint mark Lincoln penny doesn't come from being just another penny. There are several factors that contribute to its massive value, and they all boil down to rarity and demand. First off, it's important to note that most 1986 pennies, including those minted in Philadelphia, come with the expected P mint mark. The 1986 no mint mark penny, however, is a mistake or an error coin, and error coins are extremely valuable in the world of numismatics. The fact that this penny lacks a mint mark means it was likely produced during a time of transition or a mistake in the minting process. These types of coins are often one of a kind or produced in limited numbers, making them incredibly rare. What makes the 1986 no mint mark penny even more intriguing is that it is not widely known. There are only a handful of these pennies in circulation, and many of them are tucked away in private collections. As word spreads about its value, more collectors are on the lookout for this rare penny, further driving up the price. If you're wondering whether you might have one of these elusive 1986 no mint mark pennies, here's how to spot it. Start by checking the obverse side of the penny, where you'll find Abraham Lincoln's portrait. Unlike most pennies from 1986, the no mint mark version won't have a small P or D above the date. It's worth noting that the condition of the penny also plays a significant role in its value. A penny in excellent condition, meaning it's well preserved with minimal wear and tear, will fetch a higher price than one with visible damage or signs of heavy use. If you happen to find a 1986 no mint mark penny in uncirculated or near mint condition, you could be looking at a coin worth around $1.80 million. As we've mentioned, the value of this penny can range up to $1.8 million, but why such a high price tag? The answer lies in the rarity of the coin. The 1986 no mint mark penny is highly sought after by collectors because of its error status, and error coins like this one are among the most valuable in the coin collecting world. However, like all rare coins, its worth can fluctuate depending on the coin's condition, the auction market, and the buyer's interest. If you're lucky enough to come across one of these rare pennies, you might be wondering where to sell it. The best place to sell a high-value coin like the 1986 no mint mark Lincoln penny is through reputable auction houses or established numismatic dealers. Auctions that specialize in rare coins are often where these pennies can fetch their highest prices, as competitive bidding can drive the price even higher. Before selling, make sure to have your penny authenticated by a professional grading service, like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. A certified coin with a clear, verified history will always fetch a higher price than one that hasn't been authenticated. So, is your pocket change hiding a potential gold mine? The 1986 no mint mark Lincoln penny is proof that sometimes the most valuable coins aren't the ones you expect. If you happen to stumble upon one of these rare, error pennies, you could find yourself in possession of a piece of history worth over $1.80 million. As always, be sure to carefully check your coin collection, and if you find anything unusual, don't hesitate to get it checked by a professional. Who knows, you might have a small fortune in your hands. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more coin-related content. We're going to dive into one of the most intriguing and valuable coins in the world, the 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a rare treasure worth a whopping $1.1 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.1 million for a penny. But what makes this coin so special? Stick around as we explore the story behind this rare find, how to identify it, and why it's commanding such a hefty price on the market. And now, you might be wondering, why would a 1987 penny be worth so much? After all, it's not that old, and it's still from the modern era of coinage. And that's exactly where the mystery begins. The Lincoln penny, which has been a staple of American currency since 1909, was minted in vast numbers throughout the 1980s. However, not all pennies are created equal. The 1987 penny, with its unique characteristics, stands out from the rest. Most pennies from 1987 feature the familiar D mint mark, indicating they were produced at the Denver Mint. But here's where things get interesting: a small number of 1987 pennies were mistakenly struck without any mint mark at all. These rare, mint markless pennies have captivated coin collectors, and their value has skyrocketed in recent years. So, why are these 1987 no mint mark pennies worth so much? The key lies in the minting process. The US Mint typically strikes coins in different facilities, each with its own mint mark. For example, the D mint mark stands for Denver, while the P mint mark stands for Philadelphia. But on occasion, human error or machinery malfunctions can result in a coin being struck without a mint mark at all. In the case of the 1987 penny, a small batch of these coins was produced without the mint mark, making them highly sought after by collectors. The rarity of these coins is what drives their incredible value. It's important to note that these are not just any ordinary errors, they are genuine mistakes in the production process, and that's what makes them so fascinating and valuable to collectors and investors. The 1987 no mint mark penny is extremely rare. While the exact number of these error coins is not known, it's believed that only a handful were struck without the mint mark before the issue was discovered and corrected. This scarcity has made the coin highly desirable, especially among those who specialize in rare error coins. The fact that these pennies are from a relatively recent year makes them even more surprising. Many collectors typically focus on older coins, thinking that the real treasures are the ones from the 1800s or early 1900s. But this 1987 no mint mark penny shows that even relatively modern coins can be worth a fortune when they come with the right story. Identifying a 1987 no mint mark penny is actually quite simple, you just need to look closely. First, check the date on the coin. It should read 1987, of course. Then, flip the penny over and look for the mint mark. If you see a D or P mint mark, then it's not the coin you're looking for. But if the reverse side is completely blank where the mint mark should be, you've got a rare find on your hands. While many of these error pennies have been found in circulation over the years, it's important to note that they can sometimes be difficult to spot. So, if you have a 1987 penny with no mint mark, don't just throw it in your pocket change jar. It could be worth a lot more than you think. The rise in value of the 1987 no mint mark penny can be attributed to several factors. First, the increasing demand for rare coins in the collector's market has pushed prices higher. As more collectors learn about the rarity of these pennies, they are eager to add them to their collections. Second, the appeal of error coins has grown significantly. Error coins, like this 1987 no mint mark penny, are fascinating because they represent a moment in history when something went wrong at the mint. Collectors love these coins because they are physical evidence of an unexpected mistake, and the rarity of these error coins is what makes them so valuable. Lastly, the fact that the 1987 no mint mark penny is from a more modern era makes it accessible to a wider audience of collectors. Many of today's collectors are looking for coins from the 20th century, and the 1987 no mint mark penny offers them a chance to own a piece of history that's not only rare but also valuable. The value of a 1987 no mint mark penny can vary depending on its condition, but it can fetch anywhere from $500,000 to $1.1 million at auction. Coins in better condition, especially those that have been professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC, can see even higher prices. Some have sold for as much as $1.1 million in recent years, making this penny one of the most valuable in the world. The exact value of your coin will depend on factors like its overall condition, whether it has been professionally graded, and the current state of the rare coin market. However, even if your 1987 no mint mark penny isn't in perfect condition, it could still be worth thousands of dollars. If you happen to stumble upon a 1987 no mint mark penny in your pocket change or your coin collection, don't rush to sell it just yet. First, get the coin professionally evaluated and graded. A certified coin grader can help determine the coin's condition and its potential market value. You may also want to consider taking it to a reputable dealer who specializes in rare and error coins. Once you know what you have, you can decide whether to sell it, add it to your collection, or even hold on to it as a long-term investment. Keep in mind that the value of rare coins can fluctuate over time, so it's important to stay informed about the current market trends. The 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how an error coin can become one of the most valuable treasures in the numismatic world. With its incredible rarity and fascinating backstory, this penny is worth far more than its face value. So, the next time you go through your spare change, be sure to check your 1987 pennies carefully. You could be holding onto a coin worth $1.1 million. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos on rare coins and other hidden treasures. If you have any questions or want to share your experiences with error coins, drop a comment below. Happy hunting, and see you in the next video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and share it with fellow coin collectors. Stay tuned for more rare coin discoveries that could change your financial future. We're talking about one of the most sought-after pennies on the market, the 1979 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny. You may be surprised to learn that this penny, which seems like a simple, everyday coin, could be worth up to $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that right. In today's video, we'll uncover the fascinating story behind the 1979 D Lincoln penny, what makes it so special, and how you can spot one of these rare treasures. If you're a coin collector or just curious about rare coins, this video is for you. So let's jump right in. To understand why the 1979 D Lincoln penny is worth such a huge amount, let's first take a look at the history. The Lincoln penny has been a staple in American coinage since 1909, but in 1979, the U.S. Mint was still producing these coins with slightly different designs and minting processes than we see today. The 1979 pennies were struck in a variety of ways, but the ones we're focusing on today were minted in Denver, identified by the D-Mint mark. During the late 1970s, there were a number of unusual occurrences at the U.S. Mint. For example, there was an increase in the number of coins with errors, things like double strikes, die breaks, and off-center mintings, which led to some truly unique pieces. So, what makes the 1979 D Lincoln penny worth $1.2 million? The main reason comes down to a rare error, specifically the double die obverse variety. This is an error that occurs during the minting process when the die used to strike the coin gets misaligned, causing the design to appear doubled or distorted. In the case of the 1979 D penny, the doubling can be most noticeable on the word Liberty and the date 1979 on the obverse, or head side of the coin, but here's the catch: not every 1979 D penny is a double die obverse. Only a small fraction of these pennies exhibit this rare error, making them highly sought after by collectors. It's estimated that fewer than 10 perfect examples of this coin have been discovered, and that rarity is what drives the price to a staggering $1.2 million. So how do you spot this valuable coin? It's not as simple as just looking at the penny and hoping for the best. The doubling on a 1979 D penny is subtle, but with the right tools and a keen eye, you can identify it. At first, inspect the date 1979 on the obverse of the coin. You should look closely for a ghost image of the numbers, where a second, smaller version of the date appears slightly to the left of the main one. The same goes for the word Liberty. If you can spot that doubling, you're likely looking at a 1979 D double die obverse penny. While the doubling is the most noticeable feature, also look for any signs of wear or damage. A well-preserved coin with minimal wear is more valuable, so make sure to check the overall condition before you make any judgments. Beyond the error itself, the 1979 D Lincoln penny's value is also influenced by factors such as its grade, the preservation of the coin, and how it's been maintained over the years. Coins that have been carefully stored in protective cases and kept in excellent condition are worth much more than those that have been tossed around or exposed to the elements. A high-grade example of the 1979 D double die obverse penny, especially one that's been graded by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC, can fetch far more than one that's not in top condition. Coins with a high grade, like MS-67 or better, have been known to sell for astronomical amounts, sometimes approaching the $1.2 million mark. Now, you might be wondering, how can I find a 1979 D penny that's worth so much money? While it's true that finding one of these rare pennies is incredibly difficult, it's not impossible. If you're a coin collector, it's worth checking your spare change or searching through rolls of pennies from the 1970s. You can also look for unsearched bags or boxes of coins that may contain this rare variety. However, keep in mind that not every 1979 D penny you find will be worth millions. It's important to know how to recognize the double die obverse error and understand the grading system to determine the coin's true value. Patience and knowledge are key when hunting for valuable coins. In conclusion, the 1979 D Lincoln penny is one of the most valuable coins in the world today, thanks to its rare double die obverse error. With only a few known examples and an estimated value of up to $1.2 million, this penny is a true treasure for collectors. If you ever come across a 1979 D penny, make sure to check for the doubling on the date and the word Liberty, and always have it professionally graded if you believe you found something special. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins and their incredible values, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. We're diving into a coin that might just be hiding in your change jar or collection right now, the 2017 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Believe it or not, this coin has made waves in the numismatic world, with some versions fetching a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.3 million for a modern penny. Stick around, and we'll break down why this particular penny is worth so much and how you might spot one in your own collection. Let's start by setting the scene. The 2017 D Lincoln penny isn't exactly rare in the way you might think. In fact, it's part of the regular series of pennies issued by the U.S. Mint. It was produced in large numbers at the Denver Mint, hence the D Mint mark. Typically, coins like this wouldn't cause much excitement, right? After all, pennies are some of the most common coins in circulation. But this particular penny, due to a rare and specific set of circumstances, has turned into one of the most sought-after coins in the world. So, what makes the 2017 D penny so valuable? Well, it all comes down to a unique error that was discovered by sharp-eyed collectors. It's known as a double die error. A double die occurs when the coin's design is struck more than once, causing the image to appear doubled on the coin. In this case, the doubling is most noticeable on the Liberty and "In God We Trust" inscriptions, which appear thicker and slightly offset. This isn't a minor mistake, either. The doubling is significant enough that it's easy to spot with the naked eye, especially when you know what you're looking for. But because these errors are so rare, they're incredibly valuable. Now, you might be wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these rare pennies? Great question. Spotting a double die is all about looking closely at the design. First, check the lettering on the obverse, particularly Liberty and "In God We Trust." If the letters appear to have a slight shadow or an extra set of lines, that's a good sign that you might have a double die error. Make sure to also check the date, 2017. The doubling can sometimes extend to the digits as well, although the most noticeable signs are in the lettering. You'll want to use a magnifying glass or a loupe to get a good look. Once you've confirmed that the doubling is clearly visible, you may have one of the rarest pennies in modern U.S. minting history. So, why does this particular error coin command such a high value, $1.3 million, to be specific? It's all about rarity and demand. Coins with double die errors are highly sought after because they represent a unique and rare mistake. This rarity, combined with the fact that the 2017 D penny is a relatively recent coin, makes it a standout among error coins. In the world of numismatics, collectors are willing to pay big money for anything that stands out from the ordinary, especially when it's a modern error that is still within reach for many collectors. Add to that the fact that pennies are still a widely circulated coin, and the odds of finding a double die error like this are slim. When one pops up for sale, it's often snapped up quickly by collectors or investors looking to add a rare piece to their portfolio. In this case, the 2017 D double die penny has become a high-value target in the market, with one example even reaching $1.3 million at auction. Double die errors are not unheard of, but they are incredibly rare, especially in coins from more recent years. The U.S. Mint has strict quality control measures in place, but sometimes, these errors slip through the cracks. The 2017 D Lincoln penny is one such case, and only a small number of these double die coins are thought to exist. This extreme rarity adds to the coin's allure and skyrockets its value. While you might encounter other error coins from different years, the 2017 D is particularly special because of how well known and documented the error is, as well as how dramatic the doubling is on the coin. Collectors have been eagerly searching for this error, and the competition to find one has only driven up its value. If you've been lucky enough to come across a 2017 D double die Lincoln penny, don't just throw it into your pocket change. You should have it professionally graded and authenticated by a reputable third-party grading service, such as the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. The grading process ensures that your coin is verified as a legitimate double die error and can dramatically increase its value on the market. Once it's been graded, you can then decide whether you want to hold on to it as a collector's item or sell it. Auctions or private sales are common ways for error coins like this to find new owners, often at prices far higher than their face value. To sum it all up, the 2017 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny with the double die error is a modern coin that has captured the attention of collectors worldwide. While most pennies are worth just 1 cent, this rare and valuable error coin has sold for as much as $1.3 million, proving that even the smallest coins can have big value if they have a unique flaw. If you're a collector, keep an eye on your pennies, because you never know when you might stumble upon a hidden treasure worth a small fortune. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, share it with fellow coin collectors, and subscribe for more awesome coin stories. We've got something incredibly exciting to talk about. If you're a coin enthusiast or someone just getting started in numismatics, you won't want to miss this. We're diving into one of the rarest and most valuable pennies out there, the 1970 Lincoln penny, and it could be worth a whopping $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right, one single penny, minted over 50 years ago, could fetch you a fortune today. But what makes the 1970 so special? How do you know if you've got one in your collection? And what makes it worth so much? Stick around, because we're going to answer all those questions and more. To truly understand the value of the 1970 penny, it's important to know a little bit about the history of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of U.S. coinage since its introduction in 1909. Over the years, the design has changed slightly, but the most well-known version is the classic design featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. In 1970, the U.S. Mint was still producing these familiar coins, but it was also a year marked by significant events in the world of coinage. The U.S. Mint produced millions of pennies that year, but among them, a small number of 1970 pennies were struck with a major flaw, a minting error that would later turn this coin into a highly sought-after treasure. Here's where things get really interesting. The 1970 penny in question is a special variety, and the key to its high value lies in its minting error. In 1970, there was a rare issue where the coin was accidentally struck with a die that had been severely worn or damaged. This caused the design to appear slightly off-center or with a noticeable doubling effect on certain areas, which is a feature known as machine doubling or die deterioration doubling. Most of the 1970 pennies are not worth anything more than their face value. But if you happen to have one with this unique minting error, it could be worth a fortune. The value of these pennies skyrocketed when collectors and experts realized just how rare and unique this error was. The 1970 penny with this rare doubling can fetch anywhere from several $100s to over $1.4 million, depending on its condition and the severity of the doubling. The coin has become so valuable that even pennies in good condition, but with the error visible, are worth more than most people might expect. Now, you might be wondering, how do you identify a 1970 penny that's worth potentially millions? The first step is to check the date and the mint mark. The 1970 penny is a regular issue coin, so it should have a D mint mark indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint. The key feature to look for is the doubling. Examine the Liberty and "In God We Trust" inscriptions on the coin. In the case of this error, you'll see a noticeable doubling effect in these areas. It won't just look like a blurry impression, it will be a clear, almost shadow-like doubling that makes the lettering look as if it's been stamped twice. Another area to check is the date itself. You might notice some doubling or distortion, particularly around the numbers 1970. It's important to note that the doubling on this penny is not the same as double die errors, which are much rarer and have a distinct appearance. The 1970 penny with the machine doubling will show a less dramatic, but still noticeable, doubling of the lettering and numbers. You might be wondering why a coin with such a small flaw could be worth so much money. The answer is simple: rarity and demand. While the U.S. Mint produces billions of pennies every year, only a small percentage of those coins are struck with errors that make them valuable. Collectors and investors are always looking for those rare, one-of-a-kind coins that stand out from the rest. In the case of the 1970 penny, only a handful of coins with this particular error are known to exist, and that makes it highly desirable to serious collectors. When a coin is rare and in high demand, its value can increase exponentially. Over the years, the price of this penny has steadily risen, and today, it can easily fetch $1.4 million at auction, or even more if it's in exceptional condition. If you think you might have a 1970 penny with the valuable error, it's crucial to get it appraised by an expert. The condition of the coin plays a significant role in determining its worth. Coins are graded based on their appearance, with grades ranging from poor to mint state. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. A well-preserved 1970 penny with the error could easily be worth hundreds of thousands or even over $1 million, while a coin in poor condition might be worth much less. The best way to get an accurate value is to have it graded by a professional numismatic grading service, such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. So there you have it, the 1970 D Lincoln penny, a coin that could be worth an incredible $1.4 million. Whether you've inherited a coin collection or you're just starting to search through your spare change, make sure you keep an eye out for this rare and valuable treasure. If you find one, you could be holding onto a piece of history worth a fortune. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing coin content. If you think you have a 1970 D penny with the error, or if you found any other valuable coins, let us know in the comments below. And as always, happy collecting. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss out on future videos. We're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in the world of numismatics, the 1979 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. You may not think much of a penny in your pocket, but if you have a 1979 D penny, it could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, stick with me as we explore how this particular penny can be worth so much and how you might be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. Let's start by setting the stage. The Lincoln penny is one of the most iconic and well-known coins in U.S. history, first minted in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Since then, it's undergone many changes in design and composition, but in 1979, something special happened. The 1979 D penny was minted in Denver and features the famous Abraham Lincoln portrait on the obverse, with the classic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. At first glance, it's just another penny, right? But there's more to this coin than meets the eye. Now, the value of most coins depends on a variety of factors like rarity, condition, and sometimes even simple mistakes that occurred during the minting process. In the case of the 1979 D penny, it's the latter. The minting process led to a coin with a major error that makes it so valuable. What makes the 1979 D penny so special? There's a rare variety of the coin known as the double die variety. This means that the design on the coin, specifically the date and sometimes other features, was struck more than once. This creates a noticeable doubling effect on certain parts of the design, and on the 1979 D penny, this error is most often visible in the date, where you can see a clear doubling of the numbers. The error is subtle but clear enough for collectors to spot, especially when magnified. A typical 1979 D penny in average condition might only fetch a few cents or a couple of dollars, but one with this double die error can sell for thousands, even millions, depending on the state of preservation. And the highest grade versions of this coin have been known to reach values as high as $1.5 million at auction. Now, you might be wondering, how do I spot a 1979 D double die penny in my collection? Well, it's all about the details. If you have a 1979 D penny, start by closely examining the date. With the double die variety, the numbers 1, 9, and 7 will show some noticeable doubling. The second set of numbers will be shifted slightly to the right, giving it a very distinctive look. This is the key feature to look for. Beyond the date, you may also notice slight doubling on other elements of the coin, like the word liberty and the motto, "In God We Trust." However, the most prominent error will almost always be on the date. Another important aspect of this coin's value is its condition. Collectors are always looking for coins that are in the best possible shape. A 1979 D penny with the double die error in uncirculated or near mint condition is worth far more than one that's been worn down over the years. That's because the details on the coin's design are much sharper and more defined in a higher grade coin, which is highly desirable to collectors. But what if you find a 1979 D penny that has the double die error? What should you do next? First, don't spend it. Many people make the mistake of thinking a penny is just a penny, but this is far more than just pocket change. If you think you have one of these rare pennies, the best course of action is to get it evaluated by a professional numismatist or take it to a coin dealer who specializes in rare coins. They can confirm whether your penny is a genuine double die variety and help you determine its value. Once you've confirmed its authenticity, you can either sell the coin to a collector or auction house or hold on to it as an investment. Over time, coins like the 1979 D double die penny tend to appreciate in value, especially as more people become aware of its rarity. So, what's the lesson here? Don't underestimate the power of a penny. The 1979 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny with the double die error is a prime example of how something as small and ordinary as a penny can turn into a valuable collector's item worth $1.5 million or more. If you're a coin collector or even just someone who has some loose change lying around, it's always worth taking a second look at those pennies. Who knows? You might just find your own hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more exciting coin discoveries. Let me know in the comments if you've ever come across a rare coin or if you think you might have a 1979 D double die penny in your collection. Is something you don't want to miss? We're diving into one of the most fascinating coins on the market, the 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. It's a coin that's been making waves in the numismatic world for its incredible value, and you won't believe how much this penny is worth, a whopping $1.6 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.6 million. Stick around, because we'll break down everything you need to know about this coin, why it's so valuable, and how you could potentially find one yourself. Let's start with the basics. The 2016 Lincoln penny, also known as the wheat penny, is not a coin you would expect to find on the list of high-value pennies. After all, the Lincoln penny has been in circulation for decades. However, in 2016, a rare mistake occurred that would make this penny incredibly valuable. As you may know, every coin minted in the United States is usually stamped with a mint mark, indicating where it was produced, either in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. The most common mint marks are D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and no mint mark for coins produced in Philadelphia. But here's where the rarity comes in. The 2016 penny, meant to be produced in Philadelphia, was issued with no mint mark, which caused a significant amount of confusion among collectors. What makes it even rarer is that only a handful of these coins were ever released into circulation. Now, let's get to the real question: why is the 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth such an incredible amount of money? The answer lies in the rarity and demand for these coins. You see, in the world of numismatics, errors and rare minting mistakes are often the key to finding valuable coins. The 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny is considered an error coin because it lacks the mint mark that should have been on it. While some might think it's just a simple mistake, the value of this penny has skyrocketed because it's an anomaly. There are fewer than 10 known examples of this specific coin, and even though it's a relatively recent issue, its rarity has driven the market to offer huge sums for anyone lucky enough to have one in their collection. The demand for this coin among collectors has only increased over time, pushing its value to around $1.6 million for a specimen in excellent condition. It's important to note that the value can fluctuate depending on the coin's condition, as with any collectible. A penny in mint condition, free of wear and tear, is more valuable than one that has been circulated. Coins with an exceptional history or unique features, like this one, also tend to see higher prices at auctions. So, how can you tell if you've got one of these rare pennies in your collection? It's simple, yet crucial. You need to check the obverse side of the coin. The front of the penny should have the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, as usual, but if there's no mint mark near the date, that's when you found something special. Make sure to look closely. Some counterfeiters have attempted to mimic this rare coin, so it's always best to get your coin authenticated by a professional if you're unsure. If you think you found one, take it to a coin dealer or numismatic expert to get an official assessment. Finding a 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't easy. Since the majority of these coins were either released into circulation by mistake or kept in private collections, it's unlikely that you'll find one in your pocket change. However, it's not impossible. You might stumble upon one if you frequently search through pennies or if you purchase rolls of unsearched coins from reputable dealers. Another place to look is online coin auctions or numismatic marketplaces. If you're feeling lucky, you could also visit local coin shops to see if anyone has one for sale. Just be prepared to pay a premium for such a rare find. As with all rare coins, the value of the 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny is likely to increase over time. Numismatic trends are unpredictable, but coins like this, which are tied to a mistake or anomaly, tend to gain value as fewer examples remain. As more time passes, these rare pennies will become even harder to find, making them more desirable among collectors. If you have one in your collection, hold on tight, it could become an even bigger financial asset in the future. So, there you have it, the 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a rare and valuable find that could be worth $1.6 million if you're lucky enough to own one. If you're interested in coin collecting or just love learning about rare and valuable coins, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And if you've ever come across a 2016 no mint mark penny, share your story in the comments below. Who knows, maybe you're sitting on a small fortune. We're diving into the fascinating story of the 2009 Lincoln Memorial Presidency penny, a rare and valuable coin that has collectors all over the world talking. You might not expect a modern penny to reach staggering values, but this one has captured attention with its unique design, historical significance, and, of course, the million-dollar prices that some rare examples are fetching. If you've ever wondered if there's a hidden treasure hiding in your pocket change, this video is for you. So, let's get started. First, a little background. In 2009, the United States Mint released a special series of Lincoln pennies to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln Cent itself. These commemorative pennies are unique in that they feature 4 different designs on the reverse side, each highlighting a significant chapter in Lincoln's life: his birth and early childhood, his formative years, his professional life, and, finally, his presidency. This last design, known as the Presidency or the Lincoln Memorial design, commemorates his time in Washington, D.C., and is the last of the series. The 2009 Lincoln Memorial Presidency penny is rich in symbolism. On the reverse side, it features an image of the U.S. Capitol dome under construction, representing the nation that was still being built and unified under Lincoln's leadership. This imagery connects deeply to Lincoln's legacy of perseverance and strength through difficult times, symbolizing his efforts to bring the country together during the Civil War. The design is also notable because it's one of the only U.S. coins to depict the Capitol this way, adding to its uniqueness. So, what makes the 2009 Lincoln Memorial Presidency penny so valuable? Well, it all comes down to a combination of factors: rarity, condition, and the unique historical context of this coin. While millions of these pennies were minted, finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition can be incredibly challenging. Over time, circulation causes most coins to accumulate wear and tear, so coins in perfect or nearly perfect condition are rare and in high demand. Some of these coins have been graded by professional services like PCGS and NGC and received high mint state grades, meaning they're in excellent condition with no signs of damage or handling. Now, let's talk about errors. As with many valuable coins, certain error varieties of the 2009 Lincoln Presidency penny have turned up, and these errors can make these pennies worth a small fortune. Common errors include doubled dies, off-center strikes, and planchet issues. A doubled die error, for example, means that the coin has been struck twice with slight misalignment, causing certain details like letters or images to appear doubled. Collectors are especially interested in these error coins, as they're rare and visually distinctive, making them true gems in the world of coin collecting. If you happen to find one of these error coins, you could be looking at a very valuable penny. When it comes to value, the condition of the coin is paramount. As we mentioned earlier, coins that are in mint state or high-grade conditions are worth significantly more than those that show signs of wear. A perfect 2009 Lincoln Memorial Presidency penny graded MS-70, which is the highest grade possible, could fetch hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars at auction. To give you an example, one of these pennies in pristine condition recently sold for a record-breaking amount, cementing its place as one of the most valuable modern pennies in existence. So, why are collectors so drawn to the 2009 Lincoln Memorial Presidency penny? Besides its aesthetic appeal and historical significance, this coin represents a once-in-a-lifetime release from the U.S. Mint. Not only is it a tribute to one of America's greatest presidents, but it also commemorates a pivotal year in U.S. history. Coin collectors, history enthusiasts, and Lincoln admirers alike are fascinated by this coin, and the limited nature of this release means that demand is likely to continue growing. If you're interested in finding one of these valuable coins, here's what you need to know. First, check the coin for its overall condition. A coin that looks shiny and has minimal wear is a good candidate for higher value. Then, look closely for any unusual markings or errors, such as doubling in the text or unusual strikes. If you believe you have a valuable coin, consider getting it professionally graded. This step is essential for serious collectors, as a high grade can significantly increase the value of the coin. And now, you might be wondering, where can I find one of these valuable pennies? While it's unlikely to come across a pristine 2009 Lincoln Memorial Presidency penny in your everyday change, it's not impossible. Some collectors have had luck searching through bankrolls or buying uncirculated mint sets from 2009. If you're serious about adding one of these coins to your collection, you may want to explore reputable coin dealers, coin shows, or online auctions, where these coins occasionally come up for sale. And if you have one to sell, an auction could be a good option to ensure you get the best possible price. So, There you have it, the story of the 2009 Lincoln Memorial Presidency penny, a modern-day coin that has become a collector's dream. With its rich history, beautiful design, and potential for high value, it's no wonder this penny has captured the attention of collectors around the world. If you're lucky enough to come across one, especially in high grade or with an error, it could be worth more than you ever imagined. Remember to handle any potentially valuable coins with care, avoid cleaning them, and consider professional grading to maximize their worth. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating world of rare coins, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more content just like this. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found any valuable pennies, or if you're on the hunt for one. Who knows, maybe your next penny could be worth a fortune. Until next time, happy hunting, and good luck in finding your own treasure.